The Founders of the Western World by Michael Grant. Acknowledgement. The author and publishers are grateful to Penguin Books Limited for permission to quote from Kenneth Wellesley's translation of Tacitus, Histories, Penguin Classics, 1975. Introduction. The experience of the Greeks and Romans demands our attention for two reasons. First of all, in itself and in its own right, without any consideration whatever of modern comparisons and echoes, it is overwhelmingly worthwhile to attempt to recreate this phenomenon just as it was, without paying any deliberate attention at all to our own late 20th century concerns. The study of such an unparalleled historical process is justified purely and simply on its own account. Yet at the same time this interest does assume an imperative further dimension when it is recalled that we ourselves, whether we like it or not, are the heirs of the Greeks and Romans. In 1,000 different ways they are permanently and indestructibly woven into the fabric of our own existences. This has been occasionally questioned in recent times, owing to our lately increased knowledge of other ancient civilizations as well. However, in the end, it does not emerge that in the light of them we owe the Greeks and Romans any less. True, it is now clear how much more the Greeks themselves owed to Near Eastern civilizations than we had thought, and this will become clear in the chapters that follow. But it is through the Greeks that these Near Eastern elements have been filtered through to us, and once again the Greco-Roman contribution to our own ways of living and thinking is not diminished by such knowledge. Without that massive contribution, we should not be what we are. Its influences crowd in upon us insistently from many sides, having reached us in numerous different times and ways, and at every level of consciousness and profundity. The Greeks and Romans lived through a variety of events and developments, political, social, literary, artistic, which prefigured and prompted what has subsequently happened, what is still happening, and what will happen in the future to our own lives and our own communities. Circumstances and backgrounds, of course, have come to differ radically over the centuries. Yet to be able to see no relevant lessons or warnings in this Greco-Roman world would be strangely mistaken. For it is a world that can show us the good and bad things of which humanity has been capable, and may therefore be capable of again. And besides, a knowledge of history will save us, and would have saved many politicians in our own lifetimes, from making appalling mistakes. Those who cannot remember the past, it has rightly been said, are condemned to repeat it, and particularly to repeat its mistakes. Or, in other words, without some awareness...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?